So David Pakman released a video that I wanted to watch with you guys and comment on. It's titled, YouTube Nuked My YouTube Channel. Now what? So let's listen to what he has to say. I'll compare it to my own experience on YouTube and what, we feel like has been going on. And we'll break it down. So here we go.
All right, everybody. I hate that I have to do this video, but after more than 2 weeks, I don't have a choice anymore because our YouTube channel is, quite frankly, on the verge of death. I know that haters joke about, David, you're circling the drain and all of this stuff. Quite frankly, as far as the YouTube channel is concerned, things look absolutely terrible right now. I was hoping that this would resolve and that I wouldn't even come to you with this as a big, strong guy, right? But it's getting worse. Something has happened and our videos are no longer being recommended to viewers in the way that for years and years they were. Now, you will notice there are no conspiracy theories here or irresponsible speculation. It's me telling you the facts and the numbers and then giving the most charitable hypothesis about what happened. We have 1.6 million subscribers on YouTube, and there are now videos.
By the way, David, file me under the jealous category on that front. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. The whole, I've been stalled out, dog. I've been stalled out for a hot minute at right around that 980 mark, and it's right at the doorstep. It's just like, I just can't. I just ain't budging, man. Just ain't budging. So subscribe to the YouTube channel. Help me get over that million mark. It's insane. Anyway.
That are sometimes getting 2,000 views. Now, I know my haters will say,
did you hear that?
Hypothesis about what happened. We have 1.6 million subscribers on YouTube, and there are now videos that are sometimes getting 2,000 views. Now, I know my haters will say, David, that's because your videos suck. Well, some of them may suck. Okay, that's it. I won't deny that. But as a sheer mathematical reality, with 1.6 million subscribers, our videos would never get 2,000 views. Even a bad video was 15,000, 20,000 views.
Yeah, so just to elaborate on this for a little bit, and being that I've been doing this for a really long time as well, full-time since 2012, and you can talk to any YouTuber who has a decent-sized following, and they'll let you know. Yeah, the way it works is once you hit a certain size, it's almost like you're guaranteed a minimum number of views, and just by virtue of the fact that so many people are subscribed to you, and if people go to their subscription feed, there's going to be a certain minimum threshold that you're really never going to get under. And that's the way it's worked for a really long time. By the way, the growth historically on YouTube is exponential growth. So once you start growing, you keep growing. And if you keep doing the work, you can grow. In the past, it was at a shocking clip. But things seem to have changed a little bit, as he's talking about here. To have 1.6 million subscribers and get a low video being 2,000 views, that requires some sort of an explanation, man. And it's some sort of an explanation beyond just, hey, your content sucks or, you're unentertaining or whatever. That's not enough of an explanation given what we know about how YouTube works, because we've been on YouTube for over a decade. Anyway, okay.
Here's the story. On January 9th, mysteriously, there was a roughly 6 to 7 hour period during which our live analytics showed almost no views. Not few views, but just almost zero. And we're putting that up on the screen. As little as 1,900 views in an entire hour during a time of day where we'd normally have 100,000 views in an hour.
So this, by the way, this happened to me too. This happened to Crystal and Sagar over at Breaking Points. This happened to David Dowell of the Rational National. There's a number of people, because we were having conversations behind the scenes. And honestly, I think it even impacted some non-political YouTube channels. It appears to be some sort of a glitch that hit YouTube. Now, why was there a glitch? Well, that's open for debate and discussion. And we need YouTube to actually tell us directly why it was, or else we're just speculating. But this is, again, there was big talk recently about the new policy change where they're cracking down more on cursing. Is this related to that? Are they rolling that out? And is that what led to this? Maybe.
Even more. This impacted our channel and others. Our channel was not the only one impacted by this. Some of our colleagues in left-wing politics were impacted by this, and people outside of politics were impacted by this. Fine. YouTube told us your views are fine. This is just a reporting glitch. So this is sort of if a smoke detector goes off, it might go off because there's smoke, but it might go off because the smoke detector is broken.
This is what I was told as well. This is what Crystal was told. This is what everybody was told.
Malfunctioning. We were told the views are fine. Fine. The next day, things were supposedly fixed. After 3 or 4 days, some slightly higher numbers were replaced in our analytics for that 6-7 hour period on January 9th. But I could immediately tell that views were dead. Subscribers were flat. One day we even lost subscribers after gaining subscribers every day for years. We actually lost 3 subscribers net one day. And since January 9th, the channel has been dead. There are videos that after 90 minutes, after 2 hours, have 2,000 or fewer views. We're putting that up on the screen for you to take a look at. Again, this is something that just hasn't happened in years. And you do the math with 1.6 million subscribers, it just doesn't pass the sniff test. Views, revenue are down 60 or 70%. Subscribers are at a crawl. Now, this is happening to many channels of people that you know. I'm not going to mention them. It's not appropriate. If they choose to talk about what's going on, that's absolutely fine for them to do. However, it is not affecting all of our channels. There are some creators in news and politics whose channels are doing absolutely fine. Now, I genuinely have no idea.
Anecdotally, from having conversations behind the scenes, it's like a handful that are doing okay and like 80, 90% that are like, something's going on, dog. Something's going on.
What is happening? But I have some speculations, okay? I am not claiming at this time that anybody at YouTube did anything malicious. I am not claiming at this time that YouTube made a decision, let's screw over David Pakman and a bunch of these other creators. I don't have the evidence to say that, so that is not my hypothesis at this point in time. Something took us completely out of the recommendation algorithm. I even noticed it when browsing YouTube on my personal account, not connected to the David Pakman Show channel. I used to get my own videos recommended. They are completely gone.
So that's happened to me too. I oftentimes watch some of my videos back in order to, learn, grow, see what I did wrong, see how I can improve. And I just don't get recommended my stuff, even though I try to watch it like at least 3 days of the week. I'll watch at least 1 or 2 videos from my channel. I just don't get recommended it. By the way, the other thing, and now we're sort of getting a little bit into conspiracy land, but look, you guys can test it on your own. You guys can check on your own. But when I go to type in secular talk into the YouTube search button from, my homepage, I used to just type in S and secular talk would come up immediately. Now I have to type in SECU before I get secular talk. And by the way, it was secular talks, plural, that came up when I typed in SECU, and that never came up before. I never accidentally typed in secular talks for my name, so I don't even know why that would be the... And remember, this is all on top of, we'll get to more in this in a second, bro. I got video, right? But this is all on top of what you guys have all experienced and you guys have told me, which is back in the day, you click a secular talk video, you click autoplay, it's going to play like 10 secular talk videos back to back to back to back to back. Try that today. Click a secular talk video, click autoplay, see what happens. My guess is, for me at least, it always goes to like John Oliver. Or, a few months back, it might go to like Trevor Noah. So in other words, from the perspective of YouTube, it looks like the algorithm feels like, hey, yeah, this is an independent news channel, politics channel, but I see you like more outsidery stuff. What if I redirected you to a more approved, big money-backed outsidery show like John Oliver? And this is no shot at John Oliver. It's just to say it looks like YouTube is not that big a fan of us and maybe even the entire genre that we do. Okay. Now we'll talk a little bit about why I think that is. Because I'm not trying to straw man them, I'm trying to steel man them. Hey, why do they have the policies they have? And again, we'll talk about that in just a second. Let's watch more of this.
Here is one of dozens and dozens of emails from viewers explaining this. Tom wrote in and said, I exclusively scroll through the recently uploaded YouTube category, but other categories are likely populated by similar algorithmic logic. I noticed a month or 2 ago, I stopped seeing your videos recommended. I had to manually search for your channel to find it. This also happened with some of my other favorite creators. All of those in your channel have one thing in common. I started to ignore those videos on YouTube because I watched them on other platforms, Patreon, etc. Since then, I've noticed that whatever channel I click on in recently uploaded has a massive impact on what is recommended in the future. Dozens of emails like that. I am going to give you the most innocent explanation, okay? The most innocent explanation is there was this glitch on January 9th, and it hurt us during that 6-hour period, but it then caused something to happen which led to no engagement. Maybe it was a period during which our videos didn't come up as recommended for people anymore. Whatever it was, it became a vicious cycle, and it told YouTube, no one's clicking David's videos, so stop recommending them altogether. That's not me saying someone did it. I don't know, but it is what happened. So right now, we have to see if we can fix this. I need you to help me with super simple tasks that cost nothing, okay? We need to try to re-engineer our way into the algorithm. If this doesn't work, it will be a really good piece of data about what might be going on. Now, if it works, that's absolutely fantastic. So here's what I would ask you to do. I believe if a few thousand people do this, it may fix the problem. First, do a search for David Pakman on YouTube.
And he goes on to say, like, subscribe, comment, basically try to retrain the algorithm to get us back in the algorithm. Okay, so now, if it is the case that we are not treated all that kindly in the algorithm, why would that be? Look, there's a very straightforward explanation. YouTube is dependent on advertisers to make their money, okay? Advertisers, and we know because there's been a number of stories about this topic over the years, YouTube, advertisers are scared that you're going to have a misinformation and disinformation problem on YouTube, and so they're kind of skittish and squeamish with their ad dollars, and they don't want to give money to YouTube through ads, and then the ads run on some sort of content which is genuinely, misinformation or conspiracy theories, or, has some sort of negative impact on the body politic. And we saw this. This is what Adpocalypse was all about back in 2017. There was a bunch of media articles about how there was some official ad from a big company, I think it was like Nestle or something, that ran on a white nationalist video on a white nationalist channel. And so the media covered this and went nuts. And so YouTube panicked and was like, no, we just gotta just stop the bad press, because we're trying to stop the flow of advertiser dollars from leaving YouTube. And so what do? They turn around and just all news and politics, independent news and politics, they were just like, just cut off the funding, just cut it all off. And so I was affected by that. Every political YouTuber I know was impacted by that. Every single one. And so you went to $0 overnight in terms of the ad revenue you were making. Now that is, to steal a phrase from Obama from back in the day, they're using a hatchet when they should use a scalpel. So if there's an issue with, ads on Nazi material, maybe don't put the ads on the Nazi material. Maybe don't throw all of independent news and politics under the bus, which is exactly what they did. Well, since then, what's happened? Well, you may remember this. We covered this a year or two back. Listen to this is what the YouTube CEO admitted. She admitted this openly at the World Economic Forum. This was back in 2021. Listen to what she says.
How do you think about incentivizing not just kind of run-of-the-mill sugar, not bad, but like the really good stuff? Like, what's the exact inverse of the violative content?
First of all, it's really hard to say this is a content that is really great. I think you started talking about educational content. You implied with the Rubik's Cube that educational content had this higher premium. I'd say educational content is incredibly important to YouTube, and that almost everyone comes to YouTube to learn something. In fact, we just had this Ipsos study that said over 77% of people said they came to YouTube to learn something. And just anecdotally, everyone tells me how they fix something in their house. But I think what you're bringing up is one of these challenges: is what is considered good content. We do classify, when it comes to information, authoritative content. So if you're looking for COVID information, we actually can say, look, the health organization, your local health authority, the CDC, or whatever country you're in, or the World Health Organization, those are all organizations that we can trust, as opposed to some channel that just showed up that we don't have any kind of authoritative information about. So we definitely have a concept with information about authoritative sources. And we make sure that when people are looking for information that is sensitive, that we show those authoritative sources. But if you're in the entertainment area, or you're looking how to fix something or how to learn something on an obscure topic, it's really hard to put some judgment about what is the best content that's out there.
Tell me how you think about the evolution of the algorithm right now, where it is right now. What are the key things you're prioritizing and trying to fix? And what are the things you're worried about?
Mm-hmm. Sure. I think we've come a long way in our algorithm. Ultimately, we want to give information and suggest videos to our users that we think they're going to enjoy and want to see and related are to their interests. But there's a lot of caveats to that too. So first of all, as I mentioned, when we deal with information, we want to make sure that the sources that we're recommending are authoritative: news, medical, science, et cetera. And we also have created a category of more borderline content, where sometimes we'll see people looking at content that is, or it'll be content that's lower quality and borderline. And so we want to be careful about not over recommending that. So that's a content that stays on the platform, but it's not something that we're going to recommend. And so our algorithms have definitely evolved in terms of handling all these different content types. I'd say that the plus of that is that our users are able to see higher quality content. They're also able to, we're able to make sure that they're getting information from sources that are very reliable. But I would say the con of potentially some of these changes, because as you pointed out, every change has some downside, is it may be harder in some cases for channels maybe who are getting started or smaller to be able to be visible when there is a major event or when people are looking at something that is science or news related. But I would say that that's a trade-off that we've made because we've realized that it's really, really important. So like we learned this lesson the hard way. So when we had the Las Vegas shooting, unfortunately, there were a lot of people who were uploading content that was not factual, that was not correct. And it's much easier to just make up content and post it from your basement than it is to actually go to the site and to be able to report and have high quality journalistic reporting. And so that was just an example of what happens if you don't have that kind of ranking. So sure, we want to enable citizen journalism and other people to be able to report and other people to be able to share information in new channels. But when we're dealing with a sensitive topic, we have to have that information coming from authoritative sources so that the right and accurate information is viewed by our users first.
That's not an easy trade-off. I mean, your name is YouTube. The whole principle is that anyone can have complete free speech and publish whatever they want. Or that was the founding principle. I would imagine that this is a trade-off that did not come lightly. So it's
it is. I lost you on the last second there, broke up a little bit, but you're right. Like we came from YouTube, and YouTube, when YouTube first started, it was much more entertainment. It was much more focused on creating interesting things that you saw, funny videos. Music has always been really big on YouTube, and you definitely want to be able to break the latest artists. And so that's something that we need to think about. So when there's a new, we have so many artists who got started on YouTube. So when we have our next, some famous artist like Shawn Mendes or Justin Bieber who got started on YouTube and they post their video, we want to be able to enable those new artists to break. But if you look at that, breaking artists or discovering the new latest small musician is very different if you're looking for something like cancer information. You don't want to see someone who is just posting information for the first time when you're dealing with cancer. You want to see it from established medical organization. And so what we've done is really fine tune our algorithms to be able to make sure that we are still giving the new creators the ability to be found when it comes to music or humor or something funny, or so many different categories, beauty, crafts, learning, how to, right? All these different areas, but we're dealing with sensitive areas. We really need to take a different approach.
That's me. That's me on screen. They view us, when I say us, I mean independent news and politics. They view us as a headache and, more trouble than anything else. Because they don't know what we're going to say. And what if the next scandal of scaring away an advertiser comes because of something somebody in independent news says? And in a sense, in this specific sense, I'm sympathetic to them. Yeah, you don't want Las Vegas shooting conspiracy theories spreading like wildfire. You don't want Sandy Hook shooting conspiracy theories spreading like wildfire. You don't want a video getting 10 million views if it's talking about how the vaccine has a microchip in it. You don't want a video getting 10 million views if it's flat out lies about the 2020 election being stolen by Joe Biden and they just misguide people and mislead people and lie throughout the video. I'm sympathetic that you don't want that stuff to spread. I understand that. That makes perfect sense. But we are collateral damage. We are roadkill. Because I would put my record up against anybody. You want to talk about vaccine misinformation? I've debunked vaccine misinformation. That's what I've done. I've debunked the stop the steal election conspiracy nonsense. Crystal and Sagar over at Breaking Points, they went through, I remember when this happened, Trump was trying to overturn the election. They went through all of the court cases with a fine-tooth comb and went through all the details and showed to their audience, hey, what Trump is saying is bogus. It's not true. And I'm going to show you exactly why and how it's not true. So hold on. You have independent news and politics. Some of them spread insane ideas that are genuinely harmful, right? Everybody knows that. But then you also have independent news and politics channels who are the antidote to that. And instead of giving us a leg up and pointing to us as a badge of honor, like, hey, these people are fighting back against the misinformation, hey, advertiser dollars, come on in, because we're actually fighting this problem with debunking in real time. Look how good these people are doing. Instead of doing that, it looks like they put the brakes on our channels, right? Now, I know YouTube would swear up and down, and I've had these conversations with, my YouTube rep, who's a very nice guy, nothing against him at all. They would just say, it's just not true. This isn't happening. Like, you're not being hurt in the algorithm in any way, shape, or form. And it is one of those examples of who are you going to believe, me or your lying eyes. That's what it feels like. Because look, I remember, guys, I love YouTube. I remember I started watching golf YouTube channels when they had 30 or 40,000 subscribers. Just these nothing golf YouTube channels, people who liked playing golf. They'd take a camera out on the course, play 18 holes, record it, have a little bit of banter, a little bit of fun, play a match, post it on YouTube. I used to watch that stuff. These channels were 30, 40,000 subs. I watched these channels, and by the way, when they had 30 or 40,000 subs, I had like 400 or 500,000 subs. I watched these channels go from 30 or 40,000, golf YouTube, and now the channel's got 2 million, 3 million, 4 million. Meanwhile, I went from 500,000 to 980, and I'm just stuck at 980 as I've been for a year. And I'm being told, no. It's just that these golf YouTubers happen to be in a field that has a lot more interest than news and politics. And so when they go from 30,000 to 3 million subs, that's just because that's their hard work and they just put out good videos and they explode. You're telling me the algorithm plays no role in me being stuck at 980,000 subs for a year and golf YouTube channels gaining hundreds of thousands of subs over the course of a year and getting to 3 million? I simply don't believe that. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. So, I mean, this is the fact of reality now. We don't know the specifics of how the algorithm works other than what the CEO just told us there, right? Just that, hey, independent news and politics, not authoritative, got to be careful, right? We don't know the specifics of how it works because we don't have a whistleblower from within who's crafting these algorithms to come out and say, hey, I'll tell you exactly how it works. But you know what we learned the other day? Here, I'll share this with you. You guys are going to like this. This is in Forbes. TikTok's secret heating button can make anyone go viral. Now, let's be clear. TikTok is different from YouTube. It's not the same. It can be a situation where their algorithm is even more in control than the YouTube algorithm is, and maybe that's the case, right? But you're telling me there aren't certain similar powers at YouTube? Look, I said it before, I'll say it again. Stop and think about it. If you have this problem on YouTube, you don't want the advertisers to run away, and you know the advertisers are afraid of stop the steal election conspiracy theories, mass shooting conspiracy theories, anti-vax conspiracy theories. You know they're all afraid of that. So YouTube is trying to keep the ad money flowing, and they're like, let's just try to keep these channels in check, right? But you have independent, charismatic politics, news, commentary channels in a world that made sense where they were even looking out for their own interest. Why would they not pump our channels? To say, hey, look, when CNN tries to debunk this vaccine misinformation, they kind of suck at it. And it doesn't work. They're not charismatic. They're not interesting. They're not equipped to change people's minds. One of the whole points of this channel and other channels like mine is to change people's minds. I'm the guy who can go into the lion's den and make arguments that appeal to conservatives, that changes their mind. I can step into the ring on various conspiracy issues, and I can actually convince people of the opposite perspective. And in a world that made sense, we would be rewarded for that. Could you imagine a world where YouTube decided, hey, we're going to actually put good independent news and politics channels that do solid work, that are factual based, that are entertaining. We're going to put one of their videos on the main YouTube page once every 3 months or once every 6 months. Do you have any idea how fast the channel would grow? Do you have any? We would leave CNN in the dust. But they don't look at it like that. So, what happened here with David Pakman, we've experienced something similar. We had that same glitch hit our YouTube channel. Now, the views have largely bounced back to what they were beforehand, but I think my whole point here is I don't believe that this is just all there is and it's fair, and if you're failing on your own merits. I don't buy that. With the amount of content we put out, with the amount of effort that goes into it, and I've been stuck at 980,000 subs for a year, sorry, but it doesn't feel like a me thing. It feels like a you thing. It feels like a YouTube thing. So I really hope they change the algorithm. I really hope they get their act together. I really hope they realize they're using a hatchet when they should be using a scalpel. But look, I won't hold my breath for that. So anyway, I'm going to end this segment by saying the same thing that David Pakman said, which is go to that YouTube, go to this video, like this video, comment on this video, subscribe to the channel, click that bell icon. And it's never going to, like, the brute force of what I'm doing right now is never going to override the way the algorithm functions. But if they're going to put the chains on us, we got to try to maneuver as best as we can in the chains. So for the love of God, subscribe to the channel. Let's get over that 1 million mark. Share the videos around. You know, do whatever you can do. Just do whatever you can do. Because certainly don't feel right. What's going on certainly doesn't feel right. And I hope YouTube makes some changes and they reevaluate and they realize that channels like mine are an asset. I'm never going to agree on everything with YouTube management, right? Like, I'm going to advocate for higher taxes for corporations. They probably don't like that, right? I'm going to advocate for universal health care. They probably have no position on something like universal health care. I'm still going to criticize, human rights abusing regimes. Maybe that's, for them, that's like, oh, we, don't go after certain countries because that we got investors from here or there. We're never going to agree on everything. But the fact of the matter is, we put the facts first, the news and the information first, then I give my take, and oftentimes it would behoove them to pump my take, because I'm way better at debunking vaccine misinformation and election lies than anybody in mainstream media. And those mainstream guys are the ones who are authoritative and pumped relentlessly. There was a time we used to beat CNN's videos all the time because they weren't getting a favorable treatment in the algorithm. Well, now they are, and now each video is way bigger than one of ours. Wow, would you look at that? And I guess the final point is, it's extra annoying because whenever they get something wrong, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, it's not like they get docked, right? It's not like they get deranked in the algorithm, because the label is authoritative, and that's it. And it almost doesn't matter what they say or what they do, even if they start missing the mark over and over again, just like, hey, good enough, right? Like, you're still the authoritative ones, because it's what society has deemed has the most money behind it and is the most well-established name. So, they're good. It's all wildly unfair. So, anyway, there you have it. A lot of political YouTube channels are reeling a little bit at the moment, if I'm keeping it real. If you want to see me and Crystal Ball interview legends like Noam Chomsky, Cornel West, and more, subscribe to Crystal, Kyle, and Friends on Substack. $5 a month gets you the video version a day early. Remember, we take 0 ad dollars for this podcast. Or you can sign up on Substack for free and get the audio version a day later. Link in the video description box below.